Today, we are diving deep into one of the biggest debates happening in crypto right now, as the whole industry is kind of looking around for its next big thing. And it's really come down to this crossroads with two totally different paths forward. One path looks outward, trying to build a bridge to the old school financial world. The other, it looks inward, trying to build a better engine for the digital world it's already created. So, yeah, the huge question on everyone's mind, from the developers coding this stuff to the investors betting on it, is what's the next big move? Where should all the energy and money go to actually break into the mainstream and, stick around for the long haul? Is it about connecting to the old world, or is it about perfecting the new one? Okay, let's break this down. You can see these two paths perfectly when you look at two really fascinating projects. On one side, you've got Centrifuge. They are looking outward, trying to build that bridge between crypto and real-world assets. And on the other side, you've got Espresso, which is looking inward, trying to fix crypto's own messy, fragmented house. I mean, these are two completely different bets on how to grow. So first up, let's talk about the bridge builders. We're going to focus on Centrifuge and this big idea they have, connecting crypto to the absolutely massive global economy, using something called real-world assets. The question is this the final piece of the puzzle? So, what in the world are real-world assets, or RWAs, anyway? Well, the concept is actually pretty simple when you get down to it. It's all about taking real, tangible stuff from the traditional world, things like a piece of real estate, a company's unpaid invoices, even government bonds, and creating a digital twin, a token, that can live and trade on a blockchain. And this quote right here, it just nails the ambition behind this whole movement. The goal isn't just some tech demo. It's a fundamental change. It's about turning decentralized finance, or DeFi, into a place where stable, income-generating assets can tap into global money with the speed and efficiency of the blockchain. Moving beyond just a casino of volatile tokens. So, how does Centrifuge actually build this bridge? It's really a four-step process. First, you take a real asset and get all the legal paperwork sorted out in the real world. Second, that asset gets tokenized on the blockchain. Think of it like getting a unique digital title, often an NFT, that holds all that legal info. Third, these individual tokens get bundled together into big investment pools. And finally, step 4, these pools get plugged right into DeFi protocols like Aave, so anyone in the world can invest in them. And look, this isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. Centrifuge has already blown past $1 billion in total value locked. That number is so important because it shows real, actual traction. And a lot of it is being driven by traditional, old-school institutions that see the value here. It's a sign that the bridge isn't just being built. People are already walking across it. All right, let's pivot and look at the other side of this coin. We're going from the outward-facing bridge to the inward-facing engine, Espresso. Their whole mission isn't about connecting to the old world, it's about fixing the plumbing of the new one. So the problem Espresso is trying to solve is this thing called blockchain fragmentation. See, to make Ethereum faster and cheaper, everyone's built these layer 2 networks on top of it. But the catch is, they all operate like their own separate islands. And trying to move your money or data between these islands, it's slow, it's expensive, and frankly, it can be pretty risky. And this right here is the perfect way to think about Espresso's solution. Imagine it's like a shared air traffic controller for all these different blockchains, which are usually called rollups. Instead of each rollup trying to direct its own traffic all by itself, Espresso creates one single decentralized system to coordinate everybody, making sure all the planes land smoothly and safely. So how do they pull that off? Well, it's a 3-part trick. First, they use something called shared sequencing. That's the common line, or queue, for all the transactions. Second, they use a super fast confirmation system called Hotshot to get those transactions locked in just seconds. And third, when you put those two things together, it allows all these different rollups to talk to each other safely without needing those clunky old bridges. Now, Espresso recently put its money where its mouth is with their token launch. And what's really interesting is their strategy. A huge 10% of the entire token supply was just given away to the community in an airdrop. The thinking there was to get the network in the hands of the users from day one and get as many people as possible involved in running this new shared engine. So we've got these two totally different visions, right? Now let's look under the hood at the economic engines, the tokens themselves that power each project. How do the CFG and ESP tokens actually reflect what their platforms are trying to do? And honestly, the tokens tell the whole story. For Centrifuge, the CFG token is all about governing and paying fees on that RWA bridge. Its value is directly tied to how much real-world stuff gets tokenized. But for Espresso, the ESP token is totally different. Its job is all about internal security, staking, governance, and fees for the network. Its value is driven by how many rollups actually plug into its system. See, each token is perfectly designed for its own unique mission.
Of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Neither path is going to be easy. Both the bridge builders and the engine tuners are facing some pretty huge, though very different, challenges on their road ahead.
For Centrifuge, pretty much all its problems come from dealing with the outside world. You have incredible regulatory complexity. I mean, these tokens could easily be called securities, and that's a legal nightmare. The project is also completely dependent on old-school lawyers and custodians to hold the actual assets. And then there's this potential clash between a slow-moving asset like real estate and DeFi's need for everything to be tradable, like right now. Espresso's headaches are the exact opposite. They're all internal to the crypto world. First, the technology is just insanely complicated. It is a massive engineering feat. Second, and this is the big one, its success completely depends on convincing major rollups to use its system instead of their own. That is a tough sell. And finally, as we've already seen, its token has been super volatile, which suggests a lot of speculation, and that can really distract from the core mission.
And this really brings us right back to the beginning. These aren't just two different cool projects. They represent two fundamentally different bets on what crypto actually needs to do to win. Does it integrate with the old world, or does it first have to perfect the new one? So I'll just leave you with this question. For crypto to actually survive and grow for the long term, what does it need more? A stronger, better bridge to connect with the trillions of dollars sitting in the traditional world? Or does it first need a much, much better engine to make its own native digital world run like a well-oiled machine? The answer, whichever way it goes, is probably going to shape the next decade of this entire industry.